Anthony Joshua's biggest career problem exposed in that fight against Kristian Prenga. This is the video where we reflect on that fight between Anthony Joshua and Kristian Prenga. And guys, upon reflection, I must be truthful. I have to tell the truth. I look at that and I go, Anthony Joshua is absolutely finished. There's no two ways about it. Guys, as you know, I am always about honesty on this channel, and I know that some people would probably not want to hear this. But guys, Anthony Joshua is finished. Anthony Joshua is not the same fighter that we saw in that Kristian Prenga fight, because the shot that Anthony Joshua took and went down in the first round is a shot that he's taken before and hasn't gone down. So for him to go down in this fight 2 times, by the way, maybe 3 times, one of the knockdowns was not counted by the referee. So let's say 2 times he went down in the first round. That shot should not send Anthony Joshua to the canvas. Joshua is not the same fighter he was a few years ago. Anthony Joshua, unfortunately, I think is done. I think Joshua's finished. And as I said, I know that some of you Anthony Joshua fans do not want to hear it, but the truth is the truth. I think Anthony Joshua is shot to bits, and I think this is the best performance we could get from Anthony Joshua, because if Kristian Prenga was any fighter in the top 10 in the heavyweight division right now, Anthony Joshua would not have gotten up from that shot, because that fighter would not let Anthony Joshua finish the first round and then try and get his head back in the game during the second round. Kristian Prenga made a massive mistake, and that mistake cost him, because as you can see there on the canvas, he's lying there and his body is almost lifeless because he took some absolutely incredible shots from Anthony Joshua, but he had Joshua hurt. Kristian Prenga had Joshua absolutely wobbling on his legs. He had Joshua on Bambi legs, and all he had to do was to step on the gas and try and get Anthony Joshua out of there. If it was any fighter, as I said, that is hungry, that is a good boxer, that knows what they're doing, within the top 10 in the heavyweight division right now, they would have gotten rid of Anthony Joshua straight away in that first round. Anthony Joshua would not have seen the second round. But Kristian Prenga made a massive mistake. So look, Anthony Joshua, guys, I think his punch resistance is gone. Not that Anthony Joshua had the best punch resistance, a few years ago. I think his chin was all right. He could take some punches, and some punches would send him to the canvas, but then he would get up. And, during the Daniel Dubois fight, we saw exactly these frailties come to the forefront. In the first round, Daniel Dubois landed a big overhand right. Anthony Joshua went onto the canvas and never recovered from that. So then, during that fight, we saw that there is something wrong with Anthony Joshua's chin or his punch resistance, right? He doesn't recover very well from punches. And that's what Daniel Dubois fight showed us. So going into this Prenga fight, everybody thought that Kristian Prenga hasn't got the ability to bring that out of Anthony Joshua, because the truth is Kristian Prenga, he's got 20 knockouts, he's a puncher, but we don't know who Kristian Prenga had fought. We don't know exactly what pedigree Kristian Prenga has in the heavyweight division. So nobody was expecting Kristian Prenga to knock Anthony Joshua down twice or maybe 3 times in the first round. Anybody that, put a bet on Anthony Joshua was betting that Kristian Prenga was going to win this fight, maybe in the latter rounds. Nobody that I spoke with during the live stream that said that they bet that Kristian Prenga was going to, knock Anthony Joshua down twice or even 3 times in the first round. Nobody thought that. So that was, a shot that should not put Anthony Joshua on the canvas. And guys, for me, that is a characteristic of a guy that is shot to bits. That's it. That is literally a sign of a fighter that hasn't got it anymore. When even the smallest touches of shots on the chin sends them on the canvas, I think they haven't got it anymore. And what Anthony Joshua showed in this fight is that he just hasn't got it anymore. And look, Anthony Joshua has done incredibly well in his career. He's won world titles, he's made a lot of money, he's brought a lot of attention to British boxing. Joshua hasn't done anything wrong. He's chased his dreams, he's realized his dreams, he's done a lot of things in boxing and outside of boxing. He's had to overcome some circumstances that nobody had to overcome. So credit to Anthony Joshua. He's done incredible things in his career. But the truth is, and as I always do on this channel, tell you guys the truth, Anthony Joshua is done. His chin cannot hold these big punches anymore, because Daniel Dubois showed us the level that Anthony Joshua cannot reach. Do you see what I'm saying? Daniel Dubois, what he did in the Dubois fight, he showed us that that is a level that Anthony Joshua cannot reach anymore. Kristian Prenga is a level that Anthony Joshua can beat, but that is if the other fighter is not on game, right? Anthony Joshua beat Kristian Prenga because Kristian Prenga did not have the confidence to go for the kill in the first round. Daniel Dubois beat Anthony Joshua because Anthony Joshua does not have the ability to get to that level anymore. And that is no disrespect to Anthony Joshua, but that's just the truth. I think the brutal truth is that Anthony Joshua is just done. He's shot to bits. All of his career, people have been speculating, people have been saying that Anthony Joshua is chinny. I've never really, jumped on that bandwagon because I feel like in the heavyweight division, everybody can get knocked out because these guys are big guys. They hit too hard and, nobody's chin is granite. As much as people want to make it to be, nobody's chin in the heavyweight division is granite. And we saw that with Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce was someone that everybody was saying he has the best chin and Joe Joyce can take shots. Now look at Joe Joyce taking all those big shots. Joe Joyce, in his recent fight, he quit. He didn't want it anymore because his punch resistance is gone. So in the heavyweight division, you should not be banking on your chin to bail you out. So Anthony Joshua not having the best chin in the heavyweight division is not a problem because Vladimir Klitschko at some point in his career did not have the best chin, but he had a defense that protected his chin. So Anthony Joshua not having the best chin is not the problem because he can have the defense to protect that chin. And although I think there's a lot more work that he needs to do on that defense to protect that chin, I don't think that Anthony Joshua has the reflex. I don't think that Anthony Joshua timing is the same. I don't think that Anthony Joshua mentally is there in that ring as much as he should be. I don't think that Anthony Joshua is present in the ring when he's fighting. I think Joshua's mind is wandering all over the place when he fights. I don't think he's present in the ring. And that is a characteristic of a short fighter or a fighter that just hasn't got it anymore. And look, guys, fighters are the last people to know that they don't have it anymore because of pride, because of being macho, because of bragging rights. Fighters are the last people to know that they don't have it anymore because they always want to fight. It is innate, it is natural to them. They want to fight, but someone in their team should tell them they haven't got it anymore. And I think maybe someone needs to tell Anthony Joshua, like, look, you've done incredible things, you've done great things in your career, but unfortunately, you just don't have it anymore. So, the idea that Anthony Joshua will become a world champion again, now I'm very doubtful. I'm not sure that Anthony Joshua, can beat any top 5 heavyweight or even a top 6, top 8 heavyweight. So unless the belt, ends up in the hands of someone within the top 30, then yes, Anthony Joshua can become a world champion again. But if the belt is with one of the top 5, top 10, top 8 guys, I'm not sure that Anthony Joshua will be able to beat those guys. By the way, Anthony Joshua always has a puncher's chance because he hits like a truck and he's got good boxing fundamentals. But the reflexes are not the same. The thinking behind his boxing is not the same. The feet are not as it used to be. And the punch resistance is not there. So I'm not sure if he beats any top fighter. Now, Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury, that is a fight that has to happen because Turki Sheikh has made the fight. And it's going to happen. And I think both fighters deserve each other because I think Tyson Fury did not look good in his previous fight against Mariusz Wach. And Anthony Joshua did not look good against Kristian Prenga. So these two guys need to fight each other. And I think they need to call it quits. And I'm going to predict this. Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury, we're going to see a lot of knockdowns in that fight. Because I think Anthony Joshua is going to catch Tyson Fury and knock him down. And I think Tyson Fury is going to catch Anthony Joshua and knock him down. That fight is going to have a lot of drama, a lot of knockdowns in that fight. Because both fighters, unfortunately, are shot to bits. And that is the brutal truth, guys. I cannot sugarcoat this. I cannot dress it up. Upon reflection, I think Joshua is done. I think he's done. He's done great things for British boxing. But the truth is, he's just not the same fighter that he used to be. And Kristian Prenga is not a world beater. Kristian Prenga is not exactly, a fighter that you think could cause problems to Anthony Joshua. But of course, what we saw there was a Joshua that was seconds away from losing to a guy that nobody knew before. And that does not mean that Kristian Prenga is not a good fighter because he was unknown. It just shows that, Anthony Joshua fought a guy that he should beat. Because let's be honest, the reason why they picked Kristian Prenga is because they thought Anthony Joshua would look good against someone of his caliber. They did not pick Kristian Prenga to give Anthony Joshua problems. That's the truth. Eddie Hearn picked Kristian Prenga because he knew that Anthony Joshua would look good against this guy, knock him over, build his confidence, and then go and face Tyson Fury. But instead, what we've seen is we have more questions than answers after that fight. So look guys, the honest truth, the brutal truth after reflection is that Anthony Joshua is shot to bits. Is that Anthony Joshua is not the same fighter that he used to be. And that is because his punch resistance is not there. His reflexes are not the same. His thinking process behind his boxing is not there. And I don't think that his mind is in the ring the way it should be. So get in the comment section and let me know what you think about Anthony Joshua. Do you think that this was just a fluke and Joshua is back to his best? Or do you agree with me that Anthony Joshua is absolutely shot? Get in the comment section and let me know what you think about it.